Hi, my name is Stanley Hordes. I'm the co-founder of MakeKit. I'm an engineer and I love being creative and use that creativity to create cool stuff, like we do here at MakeKit. Now, in MakeKit, we make kits and tools for learning, like this Airbit drone, super cool to build, code, and develop further. And this is something that we will actually do in this episode. Now, if you haven't caught my first episode where I go through the introduction of TinkerCAD, I recommend doing that first before doing what I'm going to do in this episode. So in this episode, I want to build my own drone frame. Now, this is of course something that you also can do, and you then by basically making your own drone design. So let's start by logging on to TinkerCAD, and I will show you how we can do this. So here I have logged on. Now this was my previous project where I made a name tag. So I recommend checking that out if you haven't viewed that video already or are a beginner in TinkerCAD. If not, let's get started by creating a new design. So now it's opening up. Now in the first video I go through all these buttons here and things that you can do, the different shapes that I usually make stuff out of. So in order to make a drone design, we have some limitations and some rules that we need to follow, and primarily those are that the drone has some limitations. Now on top here we have the microbit, and then we have the propellers. Now I don't want the propellers to crash with the microbit, and also we have some hole patterns here that you really need to pay attention to. Now I have made a PDF that you can download, and in the link below this video or in the article that this video is posted on. Now here you can check out all the hole patterns and the diameters that are essential for building your own drone. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I want to do is to add the microbit, so I know where that is. So before I even get started with that, I want to add the ruler. Let's see, making sure that that actually sticks to some place that makes sense. There we go. And I change to endpoint, no, to midpoint, I mean. So let's add the microbit. Now the microbit is 52 times 42 millimeters, and of course I want to place this in the middle. So there we go. Now I place the microbit here. Now this has some hole patterns, so I'm going to place those as well. They are 3 millimeters wide, like this, and it is 14 millimeter from the center, and it is 21.5 or 43 side to side. This is the hole pattern that holds the multi-bit or Airbit controller circuit board in place, and also thereby the microbit. So this is essential to have in. The great thing about the microbit is that now I can also see where the propellers need to go. So in order to do that, I'll basically make the propeller and the diameter that the propeller is having. So that is at 67 millimeters, like this. And as you can see, I can move this around, and as long as it doesn't hit the microbit, I think we are basically okay. And of course you don't want to pass the center, because then it will hit the other propellers as well. But I can place this basically anywhere around here. I don't want to go too far either because it has some electrical wires that are connected to the multi-bit or air-bit circuit board. But maybe today I will place it with 45 up from center and 62. Okay, so I'm going to place it here, and then I put in the hole which we're going to use. I want to see this a little better, so maybe I go from hole to solid just for now, just to be able to see it clearly. So I was at 45 and 62, right? Yeah, correctly. Then I can just hide this one. I don't really need to see this anymore. And then I can make this into a hole. I don't really need to see the microbit either right now. So I can hide that one. No, sorry. I can hide both of them. There we go. Now they are hidden. Now the only thing I see is the hole pattern for the microbit and multi-bit circuit board, and I see this one. Now of course this can't be 20, it must be 10 millimeters for the propeller and the motor. So now I can start building my design really. So to do this, the first thing I want is to have something around the motor. So then I place this one, 6245. Great, it's actually perfect that way. So I think that 20 works fine. Now if I go to the side here, you see that it's a little bit thick. Now it can't be that thick. You can have it this high if maybe you're going for a 3D printed design, then you need to have it a little higher. But for this session, I want to have a laser cut design, but I will deal with that later. So right now, I also want to add some arms. Now I'm going to use roof. And this can't be used as it is right now, but what we can do is that we can flip it over like this. Now hold shift in, so I make sure that it's 90 degrees. And you see that it's a little bit below the surface. Now to check this, also, to make this right, I can choose endpoint. Now here we see that it's -5, so we do go with 0. Now this is over the surface. Go back to midpoint. Choose the top surface right now. And what I want to do is drag this one from approximately here somewhere and to where the motor are. Now I can't turn this around and then start dragging. This is one of the limitations of TinkerCAD. So what I really need to do is start dragging this as it is right now. So then I start making the shape that I really want here. So I think something like this maybe. I think there we go. Now this is of course too long, but I will show you what I plan to do with this. So I want to place this in the middle like this. Yeah, approximately like this, and then I go out. Yeah, there we go. But I don't want this thing to stick out here. So what do we do? Well, we just cut it. So I have a box here, and I'm going to, here we don't have to really be super gentle about this. Here we can just be approximate because it will be inside the same surface as we have around the engine anyway. But what I do want now is to take both of these objects here and take group. There, we have cutted this surface. Okay, so now I want to have an area here underneath the microbit. I'm going to place a box in here. Doesn't matter if you actually are hitting the middle here, because you can always go here and just say 0 and 0, and then you're sure that you are within the surface, within the area that you need to be. And here also we can do this with kind of a broad stroke, so we can just place it like this. And of course I don't really want this one. I don't want to go past any of the edges here, because I'm going to mirror this, because it's completely symmetrical. This is at least the normal way of building a drone design. I want to have this symmetrical, so that's why I'm going to just cut away this part here. So we can mark both of them like this. And then I don't want to have these edges here. I want to make this a little bit smoother. So let's try to do that. So I'm going to add this round roof. Okay, so I'm going to flip this 90 degrees, and we know that we're going to have to go with 0 now, like this. And then I'm going to flip this once more around like this, and then I want to be in the middle for this. So let's start by doing something. Let's start just by finding the shape really that we want. We want a nice round shape here. So now I'm just testing out what I think will work. I'm not really sure what will work yet, so we're just testing out and seeing what might work. So maybe something like this. Let's go in for center view here, see if it hits. I'm not really sure. Now I need to go maybe down like this, and it will cut both areas. And the same thing I will do with this edge here. Try to keep it a little bit smoother. Choose a hole, and basically copy that hole, paste it in, move it down here, and then 90 degrees. We'll see how this works. Hopefully we will have something that is kind of cool. We'll see. Let's go for 0. Of course this won't do. This is much too big. Maybe something like this. No, it must be wider than that. Maybe something like that. Could be cool. Let's try. Okay, so now I have the overall shapes here. Let's just try to combine these shapes. There we go. Now I see I have one issue here, and that is because the hole here was just lifted and not extended. So let's go back. Let's see what might be the problem. And you see the problem is that it's just lifted up and not extended. So this can go way beyond the shape that we have. So let's just choose 50. and go down to 10. Now we know that it's going to go straight past the shapes that we have. So then we are sure. And always go back and check out what it can look like if you do some changes. Okay, so now we have this design here. Now I do also want a holder for the battery, so I'm going to put this here, and it's going to be on the opposite side as well. Opposite side. So then I go in with a hole. I'm going to choose this as 5 millimeters and 5 millimeters there. Place this in the middle. Maybe a little closer to our drone frame. And now I want to have just a small area that goes between these two. 0. Yeah, that will work. I melt these two together. We don't want this one, so what we do? Well, we choose a box for cutting and melt these two together. Now here we have the shape that we really want to have. Yeah, this is good. And then I copy it. Now we're going to choose to use the mirror function, which way we want to mirror it. First, I just do this way first. And then we go down here. Now I need to be sure that this one actually clicks into place and that it is exactly where we want it to be. And this is one other limitation of the program. Now I can't use end plane and it will choose this one, because if I do that it will go -72, but if I see here it's 72. So that really means that it should be in the right position. Okay, so I'm going to melt these two together and let's hope that it creates a nice surface. Well, we have some issues here, I see. Here we have some issues. Now we can try to fix this issue here by just adding in a box. And then go for 0. No, this is endpoint, so we need to have 0 there. And see if we can place it as close to the edge as possible. Like this. This should be enough. I'm going to merge these ones as well. Oh, it should be good. Okay, so let's mirror this one as well to the opposite direction. Now you see the drone shape is starting to come together. Okay, so go for 0. There we go. Now I want to have, we can basically take this snap grid off for now maybe, because I don't think it will help us much. We can try to see what this is. This is 27.5. We can write that in, minus 27.5. This should be at the edge of this. They should be edge to edge. So let's try to merge them. And here is another example of where it has some small bugs. But this will do for our drone frame. Now if you want, you can of course add text and so on, but for the sake of how it looks, I want to reduce the height of it to 3 millimeters, which is what it's going to be when I laser cut it afterwards. And here you see, this is how it's going to be. So if you want, you can add maybe your name or some other decors on here. This is up to you. But here you have it, the drone frame. So now you have the essentials to go out and build your own drone frame. And I hope you do that. It's a great experience, and you can try multiple different shapes and ways to do it, and add on your own also accessories if that's something that you want. Okay, so for more information about drones like this and others that you can use TinkerCAD to make models of, go into MakeKit.no to check it out, and hope you have some great days tinkering with TinkerCAD. Thank you for watching. Bye.